Hey everybody, welcome to Jacquie with a Q. How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone is making it happen for themselves. So anyway, y'all, hope today is a good day for you. Before we get started, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Okay? Like, share, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all. So today, I'm talking about I don't know. I got a couple topics I want to talk about. I think I want to talk about uh, parking lot church, right? I went a couple times. I only went twice, right? Because I really, 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 really need some Jesus in my life, right? I want to be around other folks like me, right? Didn't quite know how I was going to go. I said, okay, I'm so thirsty. I'm so pressed to go to church. I said, okay, I'm going to go. So we went, you in your car, and they got speakers and all that stuff out so you can hear. But in case you can't hear for whatever reason, you could turn to a certain radio station, right? So, and I went to John P. Key Church, right? I think it's called New Life. I don't want to say the wrong name, but just Google it. It's John P. Key Church. And this is a church that I have been visiting every time I came to Charlotte because I just love John P. Key. Now, I have visited other churches prior to Corona, but I went to his church because he's the only one I know. Because most churches here, the black churches, they close. They doing virtual, they live streaming and stuff with 2 or 3 people in there. People are afraid, which they should be, right? So he's doing the parking lot church. Now I have been seeing some white churches in my area. They was out there they got chairs. They got their cars, but they in chairs and just sitting out in the parking lot like by a couple hundred people, right? But so everyone's in their car, pull up. I got there early because I'm on time, Tammy, right? So I pull up early because I don't know what the situation's gonna be. I want to make sure it's what they doing, right? I ain't never experienced nothing like this. So I go early. So I go up front, because they got barricades and stuff, right, where you can't be. And so I go. We wait. Now we waited a long time because you wait a long time when you go inside of his church. Why I don't know. But they was playing music and everything. So of course there's no choir, but they playing music. And then the people. Let me tell you about this. Is why I like John P. Key Church. The people are very hospitable, and the people that's on his staff do their job. Like when he got security, they got I'm gonna call them hospitality people. And what made me go, because I follow them on Instagram, right? And I said, oh, they have a parking lot church. Let me see what that's about, right? So they had said that they was going to give you breakfast. Hey, that's a plus, win-win, right? I'm going to get the word, and I'm going to get something to eat. That's everything to me, right? So the first time me and my son went, and we waited, and then it started, right? Now, prior to that, they would come around, make sure everybody's all right. They brought you your breakfast. And listen, y'all, the breakfast wasn't really breakfast. It was spaghetti with a roll. Seemed like something else was in there. It was spaghetti and it was packaged already, right? And it was warm. They gave you spaghetti, a roll. Then they come back around and give you some water. Then they come back around and give you a little snack, right? I was like, oh, this is nice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like drive-in church, right? And the word was awesome. And the word, I remember the first time I went to his church and I was debating on if I was going to go to Charlotte or where I was going to go. And I went to John P. Key Church. This is the reason why I probably keep visiting there off and on, right? And I went, and the word was like, he was talking right to me. People say that when you go to church, but he was talking right to me. And I wrote, it's in my other phone. I had another phone. I do have it. Because of Google. But he was talking about making that move, right? And he was saying, if somebody in here, it's time to make that move, it's time to leave, it's time to go. And the whole sermon was based on moving. Freaked me out, right? So, I started crying in there because I was like, okay, God, I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Just go on, quit playing with it and go ahead and go. Because sometimes you can talk yourself into something and then with them same thoughts, talk yourself out of it, right? And I knew that I was not happy in Cleveland, not because of my friends or nothing like that, just the space, the energy I was not happy with the energy, right? And, I for all intents and purposes, I should have been happy because I didn't pay rent. My house was paid for, right? I just did not want to be there. period, right? So when I heard this sermon, and it was, I can't remember all the details, but I wrote it down. I put it in my notes, right? It was so pertaining to me. I said, okay, I got it. I hear you. I hear you. You know what I mean? But it, like I said, you know, when you go inside the churches, the people are very friendly. The people are very friendly. And they're not like it's not a typical, it's not a Baptist church, for one. I don't know. I think it's non-denominational. That's what I'm going to say. Because it has one of those names, New Life, Spiritual Fellowship. You know, it's got a name. It ain't so-and-so up on the mountain Baptist church. You know what I'm saying? It's got another kind of name, right? And so a more contemporary kind of name, right? But the word has always been good. Every time I went, I probably visited maybe 6, 7 times now. And every time I have went over the last couple of years, the word is always awesome. He delivers the word. You know, he delivers the word. Now, they play a lot of contemporary music, which I'm not really fond of, contemporary music. I need some Thank You, Jesus. Ooh, you saved me, Lord. Or some, I never would have been here. You know, I need something pertaining to my life. You know what I'm saying? Some, you know, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Never would have made it. You know, I need something to you know, that I can feel. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care for the music. But the music is worth the sacrifice sometime. Not all the time. But it's worth the sacrifice to listen to that music because the word going to be awesome. Word going to be awesome. And you know, he sings as well. But the word is going to be awesome, right? So I went to parking lot church. So me and my son enjoyed it so because I can't remember right now what it was about. But it was pertaining to both our lives at the time, right? We were sitting there looking at each other like, oh my God, right? And it was, you know, and what I was concerned about was that I wasn't going to feel it. I wanted to feel the spirit. That's the whole reason why I go to church, because I want to feel it, right? I need to feel it in my spirit. You know what I'm saying? You can listen to anybody say anything, but if you don't feel it, is it in there? You know, did you receive it, right? So, but I felt it, right? And that's what shocked me because we sitting in our car, you know, and then, you know, he would say, instead of clapping, because, you know, black folks, we clap when we go to church, people was honking their horn. It was like, the feeling was awesome. It was really awesome, y'all. I didn't think much of it. You know, I said, I'm just going to go because I haven't been to church in 6 months. I'm like, I need to go to church. So I'm going to go. This where they're having it at. This where I'm going, right? And like I said, it was good. The people were so hospitable. And, you know, another thing that I like about his church is that they help the homeless. They really, really help the homeless, especially homeless men. They have a school on his grounds. You know what I'm saying? And the church ain't fancy. When you go inside, it ain't fancy at all. It ain't even a church structure. It looked like it was something else, right? Not fancy at all. But the people are very hospitable. And you could feel the spirit. Now, I felt it sitting in my car, right? So I was like, okay, I'll do this again. So I went maybe 2 weeks later. Didn't go last week because my alternator went out. I was going to go, but my alternator went out, right? It, you know, when I went again, I said, well, let me just see. Maybe that was a fluke. Let me see. Same effect. So, you know, I said, now I don't know, you know, it doesn't get that cold down here. I don't know. I don't want to leave my car on for a couple of hours. I don't know what I'm going to do. But when I can, I will be visiting Parking Lot Church, right? Because I need that. You know, I need to hear the word. I need to hear from on high. You know what I'm saying? I need to hear it. Like I have been sometimes at night. You know, I'll be up, you know, I'm on YouTube or I'm on whatever on that. I'll get on some gospel singing or something. And I could be on that for hours listening to different people sing and all like that because I love the music. You know, when I was at home, church Sunday was an all-day church thing for me, right? You know, the same amount of energy, if not more, that I put into the streets when I was out there doing whatever I was doing, I put all that into God, especially on Sunday, right? Because he brought me from he done brought me through some things. He's still gonna bring me through some things, and he done did it all for me. He done did that. He did that, right? So, and he did it. Sometime I didn't even know how to ask for help. Didn't even know what was going on. Didn't know which way I was gonna turn. You know, so I put my all. So I would start off at you know, my church had 8 o'clock service, 11 o'clock service. Once my youngest child went off to college. And I didn't have to, because, you know, you don't want your kids to have to be in church all day, because I had to do that as a kid. That's not fun. You don't really get it, right? So once he went off to college, I started going to 8 o'clock service, right? Now, we got 2 different sets of musicians at that time, especially, right? So the 8 o'clock musician, the director was on fire. That's my friend, Michael. Matter of fact, I got to call Michael. But that was, he was the greatest ad-lib singer I have ever seen to date, right? And you gonna feel it. Now, a lot of my folks, they don't want to hear him. He go on and on with the song, but I need you to go on and on with the song. I need to go on and on. I need to hear everything and feel everything. That is why I go. I don't go to church. Yeah, you put your best clothes on because that's how you was raised. You put your Sunday best on to go to church. But I go to church because I need it. Flat out. I need it. Not because I'm trying to be the cutest thing in the world. I go to church because I need it. Right? I need it. So, 8 o'clock, I go to 8 o'clock. It's different choirs and everything, too. My church, I love my church. I love my church family. Everlasting Baptist Church in Cleveland, Ohio, on the corner of Eddie Road and St. Clair. Love them, right? Love them. But anyway, 8 o'clock had different people sing, and we had different choirs. We had a lot of choirs at my church, right? So 11 o'clock is I used to always call 8 o'clock was the pre. That was the little snack. Get your little snack, right? And 11 o'clock was the main course, right? And my pastor, a lot of times he preached both services. Sometimes he let other people preach at 8 o'clock, but most of the time he preached, right? And I'd be full, right? But I'm in it now. I'm in the spirit, so I want to keep it going because through your week, a lot of shit go on, a lot of stuff go on, right? And you need to be able to deflect, protect. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do that without God, right? I can't. No way. So I after 11 o'clock service, I'm full. If somebody tell me that someone so and so, like I love gospel singing, love it, and most of the time gospel concerts are free. You can't beat that. You gonna get your soul fed, and it's free. So I had some girlfriends that were singers and all that. They always knew where all the singing and stuff was gonna be, right? So I'm going. When I leave church, I'm gonna grab me a bite to eat, and if it's at 3 o'clock, I'm there. If it's at 4 o'clock, I'm there, right? Then it was a pastor who I had been following. He was base fellowship with our church. He's got his own little church. He had lost his church and he's starting up again, right? So he had a little church, and so he was way out. And when he first started off, back over again, he was way out. Didn't make it to that one. He couldn't find it or something, right? Next thing I know, y'all, this is how God works. Next thing I know, he was up the street from me, right? So my church is on this side of town. So when I come over, I would go to his church. His church started at 2. Right? So I got 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I go to 2 o'clock service. I'd be racing in there, right? Because he could sing, and the choir could sing, and they're gonna sing some real gospel hymns, which is what I like, right? And he gonna get a word. Right? So I just couldn't wait for Sunday. Just like I couldn't wait for Fridays and Saturdays. Now I can't wait for Sundays, right? So that's 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And even if I didn't go to 8, I'm going to 11 and 2. Because it's at the court, Then, not only did he was in one, he was sharing a church, he's at 2. Then he moved down the street a little bit, still right by my house. He got a building. Then they left that building. Let me tell y'all where they went when he left that building. Y'all ain't even going to believe where he went when he left that building. Because this was maybe within a year's time. He moved like 3 or 4 times, right? Before I left Cleveland, I did get a chance to go there, because I think that was the last year. I don't know if he had been in there quite a year, right? He moved on the corner of my street. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't wait. I leave my church, at my church, it's like a party. So everybody take pictures and hugging and kissing and all that. If you ain't do all that while you saw me, I'm going immediately out the door because I'm going to the other service, right? So I would go to 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And if it's a concert, I may leave at 2 o'clock to get to the concert. Or if it's at 3, I might not go to his church. But I went to at least 3 services on Sundays. At least 3, right? And so I missed that. And I know some of y'all looking at me crazy. I had a guy. Remember, I'm single. We're going to tie in the date into this. Guy liked me, right? I talked to him a little bit. And I told him one day I was leaving the 2 o'clock church, right? And he said, "Ooh, you ain't had enough of that?" I started to cuss that nigga all the way out. What do you mean? He was like, "It don't take all that." Now, this is a person who he was living in a nice neighborhood. He had a nice home. It was his. I'm trying to think, was he still working? But he was doing all right, right? So you think you did all that by yourself, sir? You think you did all that by yourself? I never talked to him again. He never called me. Because, sometimes what I've learned when you're talking to people, and the moment that they realize you ain't for them, they ain't for you, you ain't got to say nothing else. They ain't going to call you no more. They not going to call you. It's in the spirit. They're not going to call you, right? he had the nerve to tell me you ain't had enough. What? I can't never have enough of God. I can't never have enough of Jesus. Are you out your mind, sir? So, that's what I would do. So then when I got here, I didn't have the connections. I was only here a little while. The corona came. So I was visiting churches here. I was visiting churches, right? And nobody, it was okay. It was good service, okay. But nobody didn't just say, boom, this is it. So, when the world opened back up, I'm still going to be looking for me a church home, right? But in the interim, I'll be visiting John P. Key. For one, I like him. I like his word. For two, he had parking lot church with the meal. Now, when I went the second time, let me tell y'all what he had. He had chicken wings, wing dings, right? He had the chicken wing dings. He had a roll, and you had something else was in it. I can't remember whatever the second thing is, right? And then he put a whole little snack pack together. Had your little quarter bag of chips and a two, Oreos. It had 2 Oreos in it in the pack, right? Child, you can't beat that. And then he walk around and he'd bring you some water. You know what I'm saying? Had somebody bring you some water, right? So, I like church, y'all. Yes. I done did a lot of things in life, but I like church. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the same vigor that I was in the streets doing whatever I want to do, know all the barmaids, all the bartenders, all the bar owners, all the bar, everybody, and everybody in the bar. That's how I do. I call myself a gospel groupie. That's what I am. I'm a gospel groupie. And I can't wait for the world to open up so I can get to know folks down here in Charlotte and the Charlotte area and the areas around so that I can be able to go to church when somebody having a concert. I follow a lot of churches now, but, ain't nothing really going on. Everybody live streaming. But I'm going to be going to concerts. I'm going to be watching folks sing. Because, that's a whole different community. The singers, that's a whole different little subculture, right? So I want to get in with that so I can know where they at all times, right? I don't really care what nobody think. I love the Lord, flat out, right? And so that's why I told you I have a lot of discernment because I'm connected. So when the bug come my way, I can do, you know what I mean? So anyway, y'all, I just want to tell y'all about Parking Lot Church. So if anybody listening, get the opportunity wherever you live and they have a parking lot church, check it out. You know what I'm saying? You might need it. Because, it to me, it's just foolish and it's foolery to go inside a building. Because black folks, especially Christians, we like to hug. Baptists, but we huggers. I miss hugging. I ain't hug my kids. I don't hug. Because y'all doing too much, right? So, to be, when you're in church, you're close together, you're tight. No. Now my church at home they still have a church. They ain't never stopped. But most churches have stopped. You know what I mean? Just wanted to tell y'all my experience about, a YouTube family, tell y'all about my experience with the Parking Lot Church. And it was wonderful. It was great, and I'll be going again. I don't know what I'm going to do when it gets a little chillier. I don't know if I want to sit with my heat on, but yeah, I'm going back to Parking Lot Church. And if y'all can, try it. Give it a try. Okay? So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Jackie with a Q. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And everybody have a great day. Stay masked up. Black Lives Matter. And don't forget to vote. Bye-bye.